Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Shamshir Sound video. Today we're going to be looking at a free synthesizer. It's called Helm, and this is a new synth that I discovered today. It's available in 32, 64-bit, and VST3. Right now I've loaded up just the normal VST2 64-bit instance. I believe it's open source as well, and what caught my eye with this synth is that it's geared to be set up to be easy for beginners, and it's really meant to be simplified and streamlined. I was reading through the manual and it seems pretty simple. It doesn't have a whole lot going for it, but we'll see how powerful it is in contrast to the simplicity. Now, with that being said, we'll go through a little bit of the patch bank, the default bank that comes with it. I especially like that you can just right click and load init patch. Really like that, even though it's something so simple. But this is really like the first time I'm seeing it in FL Studio with you guys. So let's go ahead and see with Helm what it sounds like. Take a look at some of the leads. Definitely there are cases where I use presets and I have them back in the mix. That's especially the case with great plugins like Nexus and whatnot. You can put them back in the mix. There's no right or wrong answer whether you want to use presets or whether you want to design your own sounds. Ultimately, you have to see what works with the project. So let's just see here. We'll just load init and let's just do some straight clean slate sound design. I have a Cashmere kick loaded here in the key of E. And let's see what we can come up with. We'll just come up with some sort of melody. Let's just put something there. Now, with this being said, let's first take a look at oscillators. So we have the mix oscillator 2 and 1. We have the sub. We have that noise. This especially caught my eye too, the formant. So for the formant, you have like A, E, O, U. You have a variety of stuff. It's simulated vowel that you can add to the mix. So we'll come back to this. Probably won't mess around too much with the stutter and some of the LFOs. That might be in a future. But let's see what we can come up with here. We'll add some noise. We'll see oscillator 1. We have this, what looks to be like oscillator 1 and 2. You're controlling the modules there. So you have the transpose, so you can adjust the semitone. So let's just start very basic. You can do like a saw. You can scroll through like sine wave, triangle, and then a variety of other shapes. Let's keep it with like, let's just do like saw up, I guess. Let's just do saw up. Sure. So let's keep it with saw up, and we'll leave the pitch the way it is. Your mixer does feed what's gonna go into this feedback, which the feedback you can control the pitch and the tune and the amount if you want to give it some grit. And who knows, if we mix that heavily, what kind of effects we could get with it. So feedback is at default 0%. So just mix a little bit of sub. Let's put some noise. And here's our ADSR. So let's see how this is going to sound. I especially like that it has a animation. Now you can turn that off in the settings. In the settings, they do have an area where you can change that. Let's see here. So you can change the window size 200% to 75%. If you want to turn off checking for updates and animate the graphics, you can leave it on. I usually suggest leaving their defaults, but I guess if that becomes annoying, we'll turn it off. Let's go ahead and add some reverb. I like the grit of that Foreman, so I'm gonna see if I can add some oscillator 2 and then just distort this. We have a distortion window near this top right, so why not? I might not need oscillator 2, but let's just roll with it. So already I'm liking this synth. It's not like what I'm used to. I'm really used to using dial knobs and massive just because of how much I've used massive. But the distortion module, especially with this, how we have the 4 options there, it's quickly giving us results. Like the harmonics, it just sounds dope, and we've put minimal effort. All I've done here is a recap. I've added the oscillator 1, introduced some sub and noise, added oscillator 2. We haven't touched really anything yet because there's a lot more power in this synthesizer in terms of automation, because you can see here, you can go ahead and click any of these helmets here and you can assign like an automation, which is really cool. And I think just through a double click, you can clear the automation. We have this keyboard mod here, which if you have a pressure sensitive keyboard, then it's going to be beneficial for you to use like aftertouch, depending on the strength. If you don't have a pressure sensitive keyboard, it'll just take like velocity information. So this is going to be another way similar to massive to spice up stuff based on the note being played, based on a random element. If you want to assign a little bit of randomness to a knob to give it a little offset, plus or minus, whatever you want to do. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and continue to shape this synth. But like I said, I'm really liking the color that I'm getting from this. One thing that sucks with some synths, I don't know if it's an FL Studio thing, but when you play the reverb, maybe it's a coding issue, maybe it's FL Studio, but like when you press stop, the reverb doesn't stop completely. You have to wait for it to play out. Of course, you could just mute the project or silence the project, but I think Some other synths do that too. Maybe it's just something to do with FL Studio. Not really a big concern. Let's see what it's like saving these. Let's go ahead and save. So we'll call the patch name like Formant Lead Man. So let's try just putting it. Okay, so I guess I have to choose the folder. In any case, I'm just gonna put it in user patches in lead. Keep it simple. So let's go ahead and continue to mangle this up. Let's add some sidechain on this and see what it does with the kick. I'm gonna try and add legato just so I can get some sort of weird movement in the pitch. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. So portamento will turn up. Sometimes it just doesn't work well. So in this case, it's not working well. I think it's just because of the like junkyard Watto vibes of the synth, that the patch. So let's just forget about legato for now. We'll just come back to that in a different style sound. I see here. So here we can control polyphony as a limit of 1 voice and then all the way up to 32 voices. Pitch bend. Let's check out pitch bend. What is this doing? And then a double click just resets it back to normal. I like that. Okay, so pitch bend is our range of motion for if you guys want to do this. So plus or minus 12 and automate the pitch. Let's add a little bit of release. Let's add some filter because we have a formant, you know, it's a grungy sound. Maybe a filter can really benefit this. That's clean. That is like, that's really like thick. It's very juicy. So we have it looks like we have 12 dB, 24 dB, and then shelf. And we can switch between this band shelf, high shelf. So let's just stick with what we had there. Let's add some delay. You know, I really want to add these last because of because of it not stopping, because it's interrupting my OBS recording. So we'll just let this delay and reverb towards the end. So we added a little bit of filter. As you can see, the drive is really sick. Easy knobs. I love how like simple this is to just jump in. I'm not as huge a fan of the oscillator window. Like this could look a little more simplistic, I guess, especially when you pin it with something like Massive. Now obviously Massive is a paid for synth. It's not, you can't really put them, but the UI of this, as old as this synth is just like, it's so clean, left and right, you know, pitch, it's clean. But I still can't complain in terms of the sound. It's sounding pretty exciting. It's sounding dope. So let's see here. We'll adjust the filter envelope. So it looks like the filter envelope is not in action yet. So let's put it in action. See what we can do here. Okay. So we can automate this. We can automate going between the different curves there. Going from a low pass to like a low cut. And let's see what else we can automate. So I like this. I know Surge does this too. A lot of synthesizers do this where like you can click and then see where we can automate. And wow, there are a lot of options here. This filter envelope, I'm thinking maybe we can do something like, let's see here, envelope depth. No. Okay. So you see here, it illuminates green to show that the automation is in effect, and a double click will turn it off, and another single click will stop, showing you the automation mode of what you want to route. But here I'm thinking how I can automate this going downwards. So it looks like I just have to adjust this. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and adjust this. Can we do it? Yes. Whoa, I have to pull my mouse. It's like moving my mouse across the mouse pad here. Okay. Okay, let's check to see. I want to go all the way down. Oh god, I'm really liking this synth. Like, I'm just being real with you guys. That's like, how much time did I put into that? It's like, you know, and I haven't even delved into feedback, stutter, ARP. I haven't even looked at like the master gain. I haven't even touched any of this. I haven't even touched portamento. Now portamento didn't work too good with this sound, but damn, this is sick. It didn't even touch the wave of the sub. Then we got the octave of the sub. You want to go up or down. It's, man, this is really sick. You know what this is? This is like, I look at this and I feel like it has inspirations from Zephyr Serum, from Steve Duda, and like it just has some minimalism, but the sound is ultimately always comes down to the sound. But I love how easy it is to approach this. And this filter envelope that I did is it's low pass and it's opening up very quickly, a very snappy decay. And what that's doing is that it's allowing it to be kind of like thick and low pass and opening up, almost giving like an attack. So definitely very happy with this automation, because there are some synths, like I was reviewing the Tytel synth from UHE and I was in the middle of recording and I just scrapped it because I was like, what am I doing? I need to read this manual. And then I couldn't find the manual. So the manual for this one it's 30 pages, but it's very easily explained. So I think both advanced users and novices are gonna appreciate this synthesizer. Let's just wrap it up so that it doesn't get too long, the video. Let's just wrap it up by giving it some reverb, delay, and putting an EQ on it to see. Let's just make it a little bit wet. Just give it some space in the mix. So we have that damp. So in the forward direction, to the right, it's gonna make it less prominent. I will say that the reverb is very metallic-esque. Now that might be good or bad depending on what you're trying to achieve. Okay, so one thing I'd say I'm not the hugest fan of is the delay. And again, you could correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm implementing this wrong. The delay just is very rigid. You can't really choose too much in terms of like ping pong delay, high pass the delay. It's just mixed feedback and then the frequency. Let's try doing an unsynced delay and see what we can do. So I just added a little bit of like a metallicness to the delay, for better or for worse, but just adds a little bit of like metallic vibe. And the reverb, I'm thinking last thing I want to do is just give it maybe an automation to open up the mix. As the notes play, I want the reverb to maybe just become bigger, almost like a breathing effect, but kind of half-assed version of it. So let's go ahead and add a mod envelope. This is beautiful, guys. This is like what, like, it's just so simple. I love it when sounds are approachable and easy to use. And though so many people rip on like, oh, Nexus, you know, when you go on Reddit and you go on this site and you go on this site and you go on this site, people are bashing this plugin, this plugin, this plugin. I mean, I've done it too. I've talked, oh, Massive X sucks or this sucks. But I think the key is usability, the UI, and how quickly we can get our thoughts into the sound. And that's what this achieved today. I just came in and I was like, you know what? Let me just do simplistic. Formant caught my eye in the manual. So I'm like, yo, let me do a little bit Formant, quick pluck vibes, quick distortion, and bam, just like that, we have a saturated sound that's like ready for some processing, maybe minimal processing, just a little bit EQ. It's dope. So let's go ahead and add to this. Let's do the mix amount. Ooh, this is beautiful. I love how the knob is selected. You can double click it. The knob is selected, becomes green. You get that full amount, some Pac-Man vibes right there. Let's go ahead and see what happens. So we're probably gonna have to introduce the attack. Might I note this too, that was great animation of your automation. That's so sick. I'm definitely going to be using this more and more. Really happy I just discovered it. Let me know what you guys think about this. It's sick, and I think everyone should grab a copy of this. Alright guys, so we're going to leave it there. That is the final, you know, with music and sound is never finished. Projects are never finished. It's when we decide. So this could go on forever. If it were up to me, I just keep designing more and more and more. But ultimately, this gets like a huge, huge seal of approval. Very impressed from the get-go on how fluid this is, fast it is. I'm not running a very brand new hardware. I'm running an i7 from 2013. And this just, damn, very impressed and very stoked and excited to use this in future projects, whether it be for big room. And we haven't even touched base with like the patch preset too. So today my goal was, can I make a cool sounding sound in in regards to big room? The answer to that is yes. Let's go ahead and just play this back again so we can hear this pattern. It's a little cheesy, the sound, but the possibilities are endless. Especially, I want to give a big appreciation to the UI and the automation. Very nice. So let me know what you guys think about that. Really excited to use it. Are you guys going to use it in your future projects? Let me know. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember to smash that like button. And the link for this is in the video description. Check it out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.